Hello, and welcome back to the lands of Aecathan. That's right, no professionals, no fancy tech, just a group of women playing an all-original game of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Jeff, and I've figured out why rich nobles cannot make a decent loaf of bread. It's because they don't need the dough.
I knew it.
Lovely.
See? Told you it was a good one.
Well, it's something.
All right. Well, let's bring you up to speed. What happened last week? After dealing with the ambush at the Shouting Pirate, the 4+ had a quick meeting with Captain Warbender before heading out to Thebes Manor, the home of Aribell's parents, Lord Thebes and Lady Laurana Thebes. They stabled their horses in the back, tried to go in the back, and were stopped by new guards who did not recognize Aribell. Fortunately, the seneschal for Thebes Manor, Amnon, was quickly at the door, chastised the guards, and brought them all inside. Aribell went to talk to her father, who was in his study, while everyone else were shown to guest rooms and were allowed to bathe and clean up and get ready for dinner with family. Aribell, after talking to her father and discovering that she actually had been on Lord Tremaine's list of possible matches for Athgarr, went back to join her companions, cleaned up as well, and everyone went down to join Aribell's parents for dinner. There was interesting discussion at the table, including some revelations about what's happening to Zorith and what may happen in the future to Zorith, because Lady Laurana knows the lore of her people. After dinner, the group followed Lord Thebes back to his study after discussing with him their consideration of attempting to reclaim Strafsoman's end. He provided them with a little bit of intel and a map of at least the paddock, which is what the outer area of Strafsoman's end is called, but not so much Straf's home. But Tasha assured everyone that she remembered a bit about Straf's home, so they could fill in the map somewhat and have a general lay of the land should they decide to tackle that anytime in the near future. They then turned in for the evening, knowing that in the morning they would be meeting with Lady Laurana and her maid, her lady's maid, in her salon to discuss getting some appropriate clothing made for everyone to wear at the dragon ceremony, now but 13 days away. And so we begin the following morning. You have completed a long rest. First time in a long time nobody had to stay up on watch.
A nice change of pace.
Yep, comfortable beds. You were warm. And all in all, a good night's sleep. So, the morning comes and waits for your decisions.
Will we get up? Obviously.
Yes.
And head down for breakfast.
I'll head down early as well.
Ish.
No, I'm going to go early. I want to catch some of the early risers. I know Athgarr won't be one of them.
Well, I come down.
Gwenlaryn, as you come down the stairs and round the corner, you know that you head down this hallway and the dining room is on the right-hand side. Make a perception check.
26.
At the end of the hall, there is sort of a pair of what we would call French doors, and you see them partially open out onto what looks like a small balcony, and you see Athgarr standing out there.
That's surprising. I try to hurry past them without him noticing me.
Well, his back is to you. Like, he's at the far end of the hall. You're not going to go all the way down the hall before you enter the dining room.
Okay.
But just before you walk in, you do see his head do this.
At whatever he's looking at. Okay. I hurry to the doorway.
Okay. You
There we go.
go in, and no one's in there yet.
I'll
I
start.
just-
Is there food out yet?
No.
Okay. I'll look for a quiet corner and blend into the shadows.
All right, make a stealth check.
Um, 23. Oh, wait. Sorry, I have advantage. Let me try it again. 24.
24. It's not but a couple minutes later that Zorith, you enter the dining room. What is your passive perception?
Muted. Passive perception is 16. It's not very much.
Okay. You walk in. No one's in there. Looks like you're the first one in.
I pull up a chair.
Probably make my way down.
Okay.
Since I see that it's Zori, I will reveal myself.
Shut up.
Sorry. I was trying not to startle you.
Okay. It's okay.
I was just trying to avoid Athgarr.
Is there any way I can avoid Jojo?
I think we're going to see him later today, so
I know.
probably not.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I don't think you need to say anything. I mean,
I'm totally the reason he's dead, or
Well, first-
alive,
he's not dead.
or dead alive. I don't know.
You don't need to say anything. He made choices to go out there. They weren't yours to make. And without your intervention, we probably wouldn't have been there to bring him back.
I don't know.
She's not wrong, Zorith. Athgarr walks in the door.
Oh, that was short-lived.
Thanks, guys. I don't know if it's gonna make me feel any better, but thanks.
You're welcome.
As I recall, there was a certain amount of finger pointing at me when I fell. There was a certain
Really?
amount of you put yourself in the position. You are responsible for what happened to you. Well, if that's the case, it stands to reason that that would also be the same for Jojo. He made a choice. He chose to come out and put himself into the fray. That's not on any of us.
Well, I panicked, and I need to be careful.
I stand up and head to the kitchen.
Okay. You open the door to the kitchen, and you see what can only be described as chaos. And in the middle of it is a dwarven woman, the same one you saw last night, darting from place to place.
Good morning.
Ah! What are you doing in my kitchen?
Well, I'm avoiding somebody who's being really stupid in the other room.
Then go someplace else. This is my kitchen. You're getting in the way. Out, 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 out!
I head outside.
Okay. Aribell, you walk in just about the time you hear, oh, what is her name?
Word.
You hear Werid yell.
I go in the kitchen.
You get in just in time to see Gwenlaryn leaving by the other door. And Werid spins around. What? Oh. Good morning, Lady Aribell. How can I help you?
I go over and I give her a hug. I didn't get to tell you how delicious dinner was last night. Thank you for accommodating us unannounced and unexpected.
That's nice of you to say. Everybody else here sometimes forgets to let me know if it's good or not. And
It was wonderful.
thank you. And she kind of slides a little bit past you, and you kind of see out of the corner of your eye that her arm reaches over, snags a spoon, and it starts stirring something.
I make sure I'm out of the way. After I hug her, I step back. I will get out of your way. Don't throw anything at me.
Oh, no. Never at you, dear. Never at you. But, yeah, out.
I'll talk to you later.
I'll have food out in just a few more minutes.
Thank you. I walk into the dining room.
And this is about the time that your mother walks in. Good morning. Was Werid yelling?
Just for a moment. She's fine.
Good. Well, and good morning to everyone. Your father will not be joining us for breakfast. He said he had a meeting that he had forgotten about. But he is going to do that. He said that he will be back most likely before we are finished with the fittings.
Breakfast should be out momentarily.
Oh, good. Well, so, we are still missing a couple, I see. There was one more, and she went into the kitchen and didn't come back. Is she going to be part of breakfast now?
She went out the other door. I'm sure she'll find her way back around.
All right.
Who else is missing?
Well, you haven't said you were down there yet.
I did, actually.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I said I came down at the same time that Zorith did.
Ah, okay. Well, please go. Please sit in relax. How did everyone sleep?
Oh, wonderfully.
Excellent.
Very good.
Well, I have asked Wei to get my solarium ready for dress work, and she is out picking up some basic supplies that we may be able to even rough out shapes, but we will see. At the very least, we will have sketches and we will have accurate measurements.
Sounds excellent.
Lord Athgarr, did you decide, are you going to join us? I, once again, appreciate the invitation, but I believe I have sufficient clothing with me. And I have already made arrangements for a couple more outfits to be delivered. Oh, excellent. Well, should you change your mind, as long as you are here in the capital, I would be happy to make my girl available to you. That is much appreciated, Lady Lorana. Thank you.
Well, so many decisions to be made. This one is the easy one. This one being the clothing. I mean, I think it's going to be easy. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what the best course of action is.
We only have 13 days. I don't know if that's enough time to go to Strafsoman's End and do anything. I mean, that seems like a very short amount of time.
How much time do we have?
13
13 days.
It is Monday. The festival is a week from the next Sunday.
How big is the town? Like, how many people do we estimate are there?
Let me look. Oh, no. Wrong part. There we go. I'd say probably a couple thousand.
Oh my gosh.
But that's also including all of the slaves.
How many people aren't slaves?
Probably a little over half that.
So 5,500?
No. More like 1,100.
Oh.
And that's including all of the commoners and the merchants and the families. I mean, that's everybody.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk to Viessa, so we're going to have to see what her timeline is if she's got someone to help us.
And Warbender.
And Warbender.
And perhaps help from Strafsoman's. Or help from Thunder's Edge.
And help from Strafsoman's, because supposedly there is a resistance there.
Right. Or at least somebody who would resist if given the opportunity.
Right.
I'm sure that's true.
I sent a message to Arilakis this morning and requested reinforcements.
I still need to reach out to BA.
He responded and said he would see what he could do, but he reminded me that it was my fault he was not in favor at the moment, so there might not be much he could do.
That's true.
So, perhaps? But...
Perhaps and perhaps not.
Yes. I'm assuming that if we decide to go, and I let him know, he'll tell me yes or no.
Right. Okay. We're all just trying to figure it out.
The door from the kitchen opens, and Weird comes in with her cart, and she begins to sit down on the table. Pots of tea and coffee, carafes of juice, and I just had the word in my head too, but basically,
Porridge?
No, big bowls of eggs and potatoes, and a big platter of bacon, and a couple loaves of bread sliced, and little carafes of butter and honey and jam. And then she reaches down on the lower shelf and pulls out 2 platters of cut fruit that she sits on the table as well.
I have a little bit of everything and a lot of bacon.
If you need anything else, you just say the word and I'll bring it right out.
How could there be anything else? I think she brought the whole kitchen.
This looks wonderful, Weird. Thank you.
Well, all right then.
Thank you.
Takes a carton. Wanders back into the kitchen.
I make
Then-
a little... Oh,
About 10 seconds later, as you're starting to serve yourselves, you hear,
I just put the food out if you're hungry.
she yelled out the back door to Gwenlaryn.
she
I
just
ignore it.
yelled out the back door.
I sent Gwenlaryn a message. Gwen, come inside and get food, or I will come and get you. You can reply to this message.
Are you pooping?
I'm not nearly that hungry.
Oh, for the love of all that is holy. I make a plate and I tiptoe through the kitchen, being very careful to avoid Weird.
Weird.
And I go outside and I say, here's your breakfast.
Thanks.
Why are you avoiding people?
I was trying to avoid Athgarr because I thought he would be later to get up, since he's usually more wont to sleep in. But unfortunately, he was already up. And so I was like, fine, I can deal. And he started right in this morning, picking up where he left off last night. and I decided that I wasn't hungry enough to bear his presence.
Okay.
But I
Enjoy.
appreciate the food.
I have to jump in out of turn. I don't remember what happened last night.
Out of character. Last night, he reminded everybody about the ultimatum that he gave and brought it up in everyday conversation like it was no big deal.
Okay.
And I ended things by, he was saying, that basically that he had kind of put me in my place. And so I reminded him that what he did was it explained to me that he could cut me out of his life without a second thought. And then I went to bed.
Okay. Now it makes more sense.
Then he came down this morning and started right in with reminding everybody about how I blamed him when he got himself killed. So that was just like there was already a problem, and he just kind of threw some gasoline on the fire.
Got it. Okay, now that makes more sense because I was completely confused.
Yep. You would remember, since this was just last night, you would have.
Right. That's why I was like,
Zori would have remembered.
Zori knows everything right now. I don't know anything.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Right, so I say, well, I'll be back for you later. And I go back inside and I eat my breakfast.
I sit outside and I enjoy the morning and communing with nature. I say a little prayer to my God and a little joke to Sekuthos, and I eat my breakfast. And I think about how if Athgarr were out there, I would hit him with some of the fruit. And then I use that opportunity to practice by throwing things at a tree.
Tasha, when you come back in, Lady Lorana says, "Is your friend not well?"
Oh, that's a long question. A loaded question. She's fine. She's just mad at Athgarr.
What did I do?
I'm going to tell you all about that after I eat my breakfast and have my coffee.
All right.
So I drink my coffee and I take a deep breath and I look at Athgarr and I say, when you died, it scared Gwen more than any of us. She's still not over that. And you keep bringing it up.
I brought it up to try to help Zorith understand that she is not responsible for what happened to Jojo. That Jojo made his choice, just as I did.
Yeah, that's not how Gwen sees it. Gwen sees it as you rubbing her death in her face.
And I don't think that's how Zori sees the Jojo thing either.
Well, I understand that Zorith feels responsible, but I will say, Zorith, you did what you thought was the right thing to keep us all safe. And however that turned out, I can't fault your instincts.
Well, I mean, you can't. I will. I will always, probably.
Well, I'm
just like Gwen feels that she should be able to keep you alive. I feel like I should be able to help keep my people alive.
Neither of those are super rational.
But you had no idea that Jojo was going to insert himself into the fray.
Just like she had no idea that you would be separated from us either. It feels completely helpless. And it feels like everything that you'd done up until that point was absolutely worthless, because in that moment, you could do nothing to make it right.
And so, in Gwen's own way, she feels just as bad about you dying as Zori does about Jojo. She feels responsible. She feels guilty. And she didn't like feeling helpless at all. So every time you bring it up in her presence, it hurts her.
I do appreciate you trying to help me this morning, but it will bring salt on old wounds for her, and for me probably as well. I mean, we felt helpless. So just keep that in mind.
Well, now I have to go apologize.
No, don't do anything
Nope.
yet.
I would stay in here.
She's doing everything in her own time, and you two, your timing is off. I'm just gonna say that. You need to let some things breathe and have a natural course of action instead of charging in and trying to resolve everything when neither one of you has had a chance to breathe and think things through. Your timing is off. Just give it some beats.
Zorith, would you please roll persuasion for me?
Yeah.
You can roll it with advantage because pretty much everybody else is kind of chiming in with you.
What did you say?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Dirty 20.
So do nothing.
Yes.
Just for a little bit.
And how long is a little bit?
Till she's not running out of a room that you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, anything you said to her wouldn't get through.
That I understand. I've dealt with that block before. Not with her, but with others.
Yeah, just eat your breakfast. Take some time.
All right. And he looks down at his plate, picks up his fork, and starts eating.
Internally, I sigh. Thank goodness. But I am also still pretty upset. But and now I'm also thinking about Gwenlaryn and Athgar's death, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to make these things a little more equal, like equilibrium in my brain. I don't know if I will, but I'm going to try. Because as I said it, you know, it's not rational. But as you talk it through, it's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Aribell, your mother leans over to you and whispers in your ear in Elvish, "Is this not something that you could negotiate between these two? It can't be healthy for your group to have such tensions."
I have a little bit already. They're not in the same place.
Clearly. And she leans back. Well, Aribell knows where my solarium is. I am going to go and make certain that Way is back and is ready for you all. Whenever you are finished, please no rush. But when you are finished with your breakfast, please come down and we will get to work. Something a little more enjoyable, I hope.
You're very kind. Thank you so much for all your help.
It is my pleasure. And she very gracefully gets up, folds her napkin on her plate, and walks out of the room.
Out of curiosity, are my dragon scales progressing more in my face, or are they just kind of staying where they're at?
You have not noticed any additional scales coming out in a few days. You think maybe this is what they're going to be.
Okay. Okay. Just checking. How gold are they? Are they like brilliant gold? Like
yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, they're like polished gold. They look exactly.
Solid gold. Sorry.
They look exactly like Tasha's scales when she's in dragon form.
They're quite beautiful.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Athgarr puts his silverware down and folds his napkin on his plate, much like Lady Lorana did, stands up and says, "Well, I hope you enjoy your morning. If I'm not back by the time you're ready to leave, someone message me."
Well, that would be me.
Wait, where are you going? You can't leave this house without us.
Well, of course I can.
No, you actually shouldn't.
I'm going to disguise myself, and I'm going shopping.
Okay.
Are you going to use a spell?
Yes.
Okay.
The same
They
one
don't-
I used the last time we disguised ourselves and went shopping.
It only lasts like an hour, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he'd know that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
If need be, I'll recast, but I anticipate this won't take long. I am going to go find myself some cold weather gear.
Well, that's a great idea.
I would say that we probably finish up dinner or breakfast and find the solarium with Aribell's help.
Okay. Do you grab Gwenlaryn?
I go get her as soon as Athgarr leaves.
Okay.
Do I see Athgarr leave?
Make a perception check. You are not exactly focused on the inside of the manor at the moment. You are focused externally.
26.
You hear the door close, and you kind of look back and you see him walking toward the end of the hallway, and he goes down the stairs.
Toward the exit.
Well, he goes down to the first floor.
So I stand and start walking inside since he's leaving.
Okay.
And he was the reason I wasn't in there to begin with. And I say, where did he go?
He went shopping.
By himself?
Yep.
And you all thought that was a good idea?
He's gonna disguise himself.
Couldn't stop him.
I send my owl to... So I take my owl out. I speak the magic word and I tell it to follow him so that I can watch where he's going. And I tell him, be discreet, fly above, and let me know if there's any danger that you perceive. This is stupid. We were just jumped and it nearly cost our friend his life. How irresponsible for him to put himself in a similar position today.
You know what's irresponsible? Just going outside and ignoring all of us so that he feels uncomfortable and feels that he has to leave. He left in part because he knew that you were upset with him.
His feelings are not my responsibility. His actions, though, have consequences for all of us.
That's my point. While his emotions might not be your problem, the after effects is this.
I don't think that I had anything to do with his choice to go shopping by himself.
Bullshit. I call bullshit. The only two people who have tension with each other right now are the two of you. And if you can't figure this out, how are we supposed to do anything? How are we supposed to work as a cohesive group?
I didn't bring up the issues he did.
But you're not willing to deal with them.
Well, one way of dealing with it would have been to strike him over the head, which is what I was thinking about doing, so I went outside. I didn't take off irresponsibly on my own into the town. I simply went outdoors.
Mm-hmm. And this is the result.
All right.
I am now responsible for Athgar's actions.
No, you're actually not, and that's the whole point.
So what's the problem?
You're not actually responsible for his actions, including him leaving. We just had a discussion about who made actions. Jojo chose to, if I have to realize that Jojo chose to do what he does and I can't keep my friends safe at all times, it's not my responsibility when they make decisions that I can't change. We couldn't have changed his mind if we wanted to.
And yet Tasha just told me I am responsible for Athgar's actions.
I apologize. I'm a little fed up with the both of you. Because you're just eating each other and feeding off of each other. And it's frustrating.
I'm sorry you're frustrated. I don't really know how I can get Athgarr to stop bringing up stupid things. It seems like it's in his nature.
This morning he was trying to help me understand what happened with Jojo.
By bringing up the fact that I told
Yes.
him it was his fault.
Yes.
And this is on top of bringing up the ultimatum that he gave me last night. I mean, does he not think that these things are problematic?
No, he
No.
doesn't.
He doesn't.
Because you won't talk to him about it.
I told him last night that it bothered me that he seemed to think it was fine to cut me out of his life without a second thought. If he's not bright enough to understand a direct message, I don't know what to tell you.
He isn't bright about relationships because he doesn't really know how they work. And I don't either. I mean, I know how to be friends with you all.
I don't either. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to do a thing with Aloric, and I don't know how to do it either. None of us know.
Next time, I'll simply clomp him over the head with a heavy object. Then I'll feel better, and he'll be unconscious and unlikely to wander about town by himself.
Okay.
Problem solved.
And if you hit him hard enough to kill him, then what? I just can't. And I just get up. I just get up and walk away from the table.
At least I wouldn't have to worry about him getting killed by someone else.
Oh, that sounds like a really bad relationship. No one can kill you but me. Oh my goodness.
I'll go find him and explain things.
Nope. You can't right now. And also we have a meeting with Lady Lorona, and she's not going to enjoy it if you're not there.
Fine.
She is the lady of the house.
Athgarr is fine.
We'll see. Let's go get this over with then.
Okay.
Lead the way.
Belle stands up and walks out of the room and walks to her mother's solarium.
I follow.
Same.
Me too.
You walk into the solarium and you see your mother kind of leaning down to look over the shoulder of a rather well put together young gnomish woman. She's dressed plainly but smartly. She has her hair done very nicely, and she is in the process of sketching something with a stick of charcoal. And you all hear Lady Lorana say, that is nice, that is nice. What is on the edges? Oh, that would be lace. Just little decoration on the shoulders. Very nice, very nice. Oh, and here they are. Welcome, ladies. May I introduce Wewaket Albarati, who goes by simply Way. And she is something of a very talented seamstress and designer. And I am very fortunate that we were able to secure her assistance for the house. Well, she was able to get me out of a really unhappy situation, so I'm really happy to be here. You I'm guessing must be Lady Aribell. We haven't met. Yes, she has only been in our employ for about a month now. 5 weeks, 2 days. Of course, 5 weeks and 2 days.
It's lovely to meet you.
So, I'm told that you're interested in something a little bit more formal for the Dragon Festival. And I was just showing the lady a few ideas that I had been working on for her, but they could easily be adapted for any of you or all of you. Are you looking to present something of a unified front, or are you looking for something that is more individually representative?
I was thinking individual.
I mean, could it be all the same color or
That would be nice.
just different?
Well, what if we represented different dragons with different colors? I mean, Zora, you already kind of have the gold thing going. And I sort of had a connection with bronze, I think.
Gago.
So maybe if I wore something to maybe a similar style, similar decoration, but different metallic colors, or
Gago is brass.
brass.
Are metallic colors possible for clothing?
Oh, certainly. I mean, we can certainly get close. I mean, if necessary, we could actually go with fabric that has metallic threading, but that's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well,
I think this is important. I would need to find out how much, but I think that it would be appropriate, an appropriate investment.
What if we each got a necklace or a bracelet
Or a brooch?
or a brooch? Ooh, a brooch.
Like
I like that better.
a cloak clip. That's not the right word.
Clasp
Brooch.
or
Yeah,
Yeah.
clasp or brooch or
That was the different metallic. That seems more doable.
well, then maybe designing outfits around that then.
We should be able to afford the fabrics that we want. We have money set aside.
I don't understand. I thought it was clear that we were going to take care of this for you. You are going to be sponsored by the house because you are friends of my daughter.
Oh no, that wouldn't work.
Oh, but why not?
I need to represent my clan. That is
Very well.
literally my job.
We can fashion these ensembles however you wish, and if you wish to do these brooches as well, that should not be a problem. There are some very talented jewelers in town. I'm certain that they could create what you need. It's going to be a little rushed, given that it's less than 2 weeks now, but I think it could be done.
I just look at Aribell helplessly.
Me too.
It's a very generous offer, but I couldn't possibly accept.
We're not going to win this.
But it would look like a division of my loyalties to take money from your house when I am representing another.
But we are members of we're clan friends too. With you.
Right.
So we are
But-
family.
But you're not taking money from Thunder's Edge either.
We got a house.
We are taking money from Thunder's Edge.
we were gifted a house. This is far less expensive than the gift that Lord Tremaine gave us.
Why am I now just hearing this? You have a home in Thunder's Edge.
We have the forehome for the... And Lord Tremaine is arranging for us to have a teleportation circle permanently affixed. So once that's done, you'll be able to visit. So I think a few outfits.
Goodness.
Certainly.
Do you know how expensive that alone would be, let alone the house itself?
Right.
As I understand it, establishing a teleportation circle requires wizards to be working every day.
For many months.
Yes, for a
He
year.
has multiple wizards doing it so that it doesn't take a year.
Oh my goodness. Well, if he is able to spend so extravagantly on the four of you, then House Thebes can do no less than at least to provide the material and the workmanship for these dressings that you will be taking on as these representatives of the dragons during this festival that the entire country is going to be participating in.
Gwen, I promise you it's not an inappropriate gesture.
Consider it a thank you from a worried mother who worries a little less seeing that her daughter has such strong, capable friends who are looking out for her.
Well, surely she's not friends. We're family now, so that's why this is kind of awkward.
Well, no, if you each consider each other family, then you are family to me as well, and therefore now I have 4 daughters.
Oh.
And
It
it is absolutely my right to
spoil your daughters.
To spoil my children. Yes.
You walked right into that one. Sorry, Gwen.
Gwen, I am nowhere close to the level of my mother in this, and we're not going to.
Oh no. Okay. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do this, so I'm just going to sit quietly.
Well, it's really very simple. We will work with Wei. We will take your measurements first. So I assume that you are all wearing underclothes.
Yes.
So you take off your outer clothes.
Sure.
If not, we are all ladies. But we need to have access to the most you and the least clothing to get accurate measurements.
Okay.
So we will begin with that.
I strip off my clothes.
Okay.
I have some undergarments on, just,
Oh, thank the gods.
As do I.
Okay. And you see Wei walk over and grab a 3-step stool, which she
What
picks
is
up.
she? Did you say a gnome or
Yeah, a gnome.
Okay.
A gnome.
And she carries it over and immediately she pulls out a tape measure and immediately begins taking measurements. And when she can't reach, she climbs up on the stool.
Got it.
And when she's measuring me, I whisper to her, I have need of an additional garment, but I don't want the lady to know because she'll probably try to pay for it. So if you could just, if we could just talk about that afterwards, you'll already have my measurements. So maybe we could just come to an arrangement.
And she, you see Wei just kind of stop and look at Gwen for a second, and then She gets up on the top of the step stool and kind of stretches up on her tiptoes to lean in and whisper in Gwen's ear. I will just give you a copy of the measurements and directions to an excellent seamstress that I know, and you can take them to her and she'll be able to make you whatever you want.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
There's no way that she's going to go against the lady, that's for sure. Nope.
Likes her job.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well,
does she show us any of the things that she's been working on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Lady Lorana actually leaves the room during the measurements and comes back with about 8 dresses draped over her arm, and she begins to sort of hang them around the edge of the room as examples of different styles.
I just look at Aribell. I have never done this. My adventuring clothes are easily selected, and I don't know how to do this. So why don't you pick something and that will be fine.
I'll be happy to help.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Lady Lorana steps up behind the two of you as you're saying this. And she says, "It is not so difficult, Gwenlaryn. You basically just need to have an objective view of your physical stature and combine that with something that looks nice to you. So you look at the examples that I have brought in and see, when you look at them, try not to see the color, because the color can be anything. But look at the style and the cut and think about how it would look specifically on your body. And if it would flatter your body or if it would not. This is a good first step. Also think about what is going to be comfortable for you.
Pants.
That's probably not going to be
What if she had pants, but a long?
Well, it's just you're not going to be able to fight in any of these.
Well, no, these are not designed for you to fight. These are ceremonial.
We need to be prepared that the chromatics could attack while we're at a festival. So we have to.
If the skirt is full, you can still fight in it. Trust me, I've done it. It's fine.
Or a split, and she can have under.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean you want something that's both elegant and potentially functional?
Yes. Definitely.
I have an idea. And she hops down, runs over, grabs another piece of parchment and a charcoal, and starts sketching.
Oh, fantastic.
I have pants like that.
It just takes about 5 minutes or so, but she comes back with 2 pieces of parchment and says, "So, it might be a little warm, but considering it's cold out now, that will probably work just fine. But it would look like this at first." And she shows you the drawing, and it's gorgeous. It's got great lines and great decoration and long ankle-length flowing skirts. And she says, "But what you're not seeing is that it's actually a vest and a skirt over top," and she pulls down the first drawing and shows you the second one, "on top of this." And you see that it's It kind of resembles the outfit that fencers wear.
Ooh,
Interesting.
perfect.
And she says, and the skirt would have a clasp in the back that would be easy to open, and you could just sort of step out of it, and then you just take the vest off, and you would have this.
I could fight in that.
Lady,
I am very pleased.
Way, you have outdone yourself. That is both elegant and functional. I approve. In fact, I think I would like you to make one for me.
So, Aribell,
Yes.
what dragon color do you want to be?
I'm thinking silver.
I'm thinking, and we already know that Zori will be gold, and Gwen, you said brass. Then I will go with bronze.
Okay, I'm writing.
Excellent. And where did we come down on the jewelry? Are you still wanting to go with the brooches? Because
yes, I
if
think
so,
that's lovely.
we need to summon the jeweler and do the design very quickly, like this
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes, I think we should do it. I want the dragons to know that we are proud to breed dragonkin. I think that is very important.
So maybe something with a dragon design?
Maybe an egg, or maybe scales. I
Curled
don't know.
dragon.
Yeah, maybe a dragon
Or
curled.
maybe an eye?
That would be cool.
Didn't
Would
we
it be clear it was a dragon eye?
A dragon? Well, they do have very distinct eyes. You do not
They do.
find those eyes on many other creatures. In fact, I cannot think of any at the moment.
We had talked about having some kind of jewelry made, didn't we?
We did. We
Did.
I can't remember what it
Like
was
a
at all.
claw, though, right, or something.
Ooh, a claw. That
What's
would
it-
be good.
Like a claw to hold a gem or something, right? Wasn't that
Yes.
Oh,
That-
that's right.
what pendants,
Yes.
right?
So it would be a necklace with a claw holding a gem.
And we have some gems.
So you don't want the brooch, you want a necklace.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think the brooch. So I'm just I was trying to remember what we had
Hmm.
already talked about, right? So-
Yeah, because some of us have like necklaces and stuff that we can't.
Right.
So going back to the eye, an eye brooch, I think would be pretty cool.
And Wei, you can. Should we go with the metal threaded fabrics? Well, that's going to be the easiest way to get the colors, and then they'll absolutely match the brooches because they'll be the same base metals.
I like it.
Excellent. Then we need, what would you think? 10 yards? To be safe. 10 yards of
That is a lot of fabric.
gold,
That is.
silver,
Whole skirt takes a lot
brass,
of
and bronze. Oh, they're going to need cloaks, probably with hoods as well. Oh, maybe 15. 15 yards then.
Who needs a cloak though? Somebody who has a cloak. Magic.
I have a cloak, but I mean,
It doesn't match.
no, but I'm.
I'm gonna not wear her. Somebody has a cloak of protection, right?
I do. I do, for sure. I don't know what to do. Like, I can't leave it with them to like make it fancy. I mean, I guess I can wear a cloak and then.
I don't have a cloak.
I don't either.
Rude.
Then you all should probably have cloaks.
If you
I guess.
if you need to conceal another cloak underneath it, it can probably be folded and secured to the back of the inside of the vest. We just have to make the vest a little bit looser for you.
Okay.
I do
With
have
the
a
extra
cloak. It would
padding.
need to go over.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that.
Yep, that sounds great.
You've thought of everything.
Well, that's kind of what I do.
Okay, I'm not going to take anybody's side. I'm just going to say, if we're all taking the 4, do you think maybe
Athgarr.
well, I was thinking, do you think that we should ask Athgarr if he has anything copper, or if he should have a cloak made with the copper? I mean,
He's not dragging in, but
I'm going to head into town. I could ask him about it if I see him.
now you can't disguise yourself.
he's going to be heading
Of
back.
course I can.
Do you have disguise self?
I'm a gloomstalker.
He's going to be heading back, and then we have errands to run as soon as we're done here, right?
Yes, we have to go meet with Viessa, and we have to go meet with Warbender at Jojo's. And we have to go see.
I'm sure I can stop somewhere on our way to one of these other places.
Okay.
Lady
I was just gonna.
Lady Lorana, while you're having this discussion, walks to the door, opens the door, leans partway out for half a minute, and then leans back in, closes the door, and comes back.
I was gonna say, Tasha, you could ask him if he's got anything copper colored.
So we
And-
can have a cloak made for him at least.
Athgarr,
Do you have a?
do you have anything that is copper colored,
Clothing wise?
clothing wise?
I don't, but I'm sure I could secure something if need be. I'm on my way back. We'll talk when I get there.
He's on his way back, but he doesn't have anything copper colored.
Perhaps a men's cloak with copper. Do
Ready?
they? Yeah.
I'm not actually very well versed in making clothing for men, but I could at least take his measurements, and I'm sure someone in town who has that expertise could manage something.
That sounds good. What do you think, Aribell?
I think that sounds good. You could check in with Father's tailor.
Yes, that would be appropriate. I will mention this to your father when he returns. Ah,
Thank you, Lady Lorana.
you hear and she says, "Excuse me for a moment." And she goes over to the door and opens the door, and you see one of the house guards.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I was just. I had asked Thaddeus to spread the word to let us know when the young man returned, but apparently you already know that he is on his way back. But apparently Ormond is back, and he has people with him, and he would like the four of you to come down to meet him and these people in the courtyard. We're essentially done, so this will work. When your young man gets here, I will have someone bring him up, and we will take his measurements, and we will see that they get sent to Ormond's tailor, and we will set about a cloak for him in copper. Will you want a brooch for him?
Yes.
Like the rest of you?
Yes.
Very well.
Please.
Not to make a point. Nikki question.
Mm-hmm.
Is he considered dragonkin too? Because he wasn't.
No.
I mean, he's friends with us and he's friends with Mother Tasha, but is that something that we should? I mean, like, I don't want to be rude to her either.
Maybe the cloak, but not the brooch.
Not the brooch.
Or a clasp, but maybe not the dragon motif, but still a copper one.
Maybe something with a Thunder's Edge motif, like a lion.
Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
A copper lion.
Because he's Lion Clan.
And but I will admit I have never had any direct interactions with any dragons, and I am grateful up to this point. But it would seem that if your intent is to honor them, and there are 5 clans, 5
different types of dragons.
houses of dragons, and there are 5 of you, it would be appropriate for him to represent the one that the 4 of you do not.
Well, I wouldn't want one to feel slighted.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thank you for working that out with us, because we really hadn't thought that far.
This is all new to all of us. And we are operating on logical assumption and guesses. And we will do the best we can and hope that if we somehow offend, which I don't think we will, but if we do, that they will be understanding and be able to read the intent rather than the execution.
Excellent.
But I don't want to keep you if Ormond is waiting for you.
Start getting dressed.
I put my clothes back on.
Oh, yeah. We all forgot we're just standing around in our civvies. Actually, I bet Gwen would probably make to go, and we'd be like, wait, hold on. Get dressed.
Only because she said something.
Right.
I want Jeff going, you guys didn't say you got dressed. You come down to the courtyard in your underwear. So I just...
Yes.
You said it was important.
Yes,
No,
but it's
no.
Aribell's dad wants you to meet some people.
Yeah,
Well,
no, we would definitely.
I would assume
take
that
Lady
you would have
Lorana's.
gotten dressed, you know.
Exactly.
Lorana
just
wouldn't have let you out of the room.
I'm just saying. It's very,
I'm not that kind of
very
ambassador.
specific, so we don't... So we go down to the courtyard.
Okay. You walk out and you see Ormond standing there talking to a group of 4 men. And Aribell, Tasha, Zorith, with a bit of a start, you realize those 4 men look familiar to you.
No.
Who are they?
Hold on. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find my stuff. Are they the guys that went with us to get?
You see Graf
Yes.
and Jink and Rothric and Talnor.
Jink, Graf, Rothric, and Talnor, Wagoneers.
Yeah, the Wagoneers when we got knocked and
Oh yeah.
when we
Oh, that's
stopped the
awesome.
bandits.
And
Wow, talk about old home week.
and Ormond turns around and says, "Oh, well, good timing. These 4 gentlemen have recently come into my employ. And we were having, please don't be upset with me, Aribell, but I decided to call a meeting of all of my carters and wagoners who were in town and ask for anyone familiar with Strafsomans to provide additional information. And then I thought it might be useful if you had actual merchants to provide you with cover. Well, an excuse, a reason to go in. And I asked if there were any volunteers. I explained that my daughter Aribell was planning on going there to try to do something about the slavers. And, well, and he gestures to Graf, and Graf kind of steps forward and says, "Well, it's real nice to see you again. Yeah, he mentioned your name, Lady Aribell, and so I being a new employee, I wasn't sure, if this would be acceptable or not, but I sort of stood up and said, Aribell, she traveled with a lady named Tasha and a lady named Zorith and a guy named Araman." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, we've actually worked with them before, and if they need help with anything, we're in. Right, fellas?" And Rothric and Talnor nod, and Jink just goes, "Yeah."
That's right, I forgot.
So
it's not just for the cooking, right?
no. Although I will say, Lady Aribell and Lady Zorith, the boys are right appreciative of what you taught me while we were out there, because well, my cooking's gotten a little better, hadn't it, boys? They kind of nod.
Glad to hear it.
And Rothric kind of peeks out from behind Graf and says, "We don't really want to go to Strafsoman's End because we've never been there, and we heard about the place, but if you all need to get there, we'll go." Right. Yeah, we kind of quick talked about it, and all 4 of us said, if we can help, we rightly figure we owe you.
We're honored.
We are honored. We don't know how soon we're going, so.
Well, we've been talking about it, and we can probably get the wagons and the teams to Killcross if we can pick up new. We can change horses at the Watch and change horses when we get to Killcross. We can probably get there going night and day in about 2 days. Because I understand you probably have easier ways to get there, being powerful adventurers and whatnot. But
You'd wait until Cross for us to join you there.
Yeah, or wherever. You tell us where you need us, and we'll get there.
Well, we'll have more knowledge later this afternoon.
Right. Well, we're at the Lord's beck and call. So unless he sends us
somewhere else, we'll be available.
How far is it from Killcross to Strafsoman's?
Half a day.
I don't know.
Longer than that, 'cause it's to Mount Swatch and then to Strafsoman.
Your father says, probably a full day's travel if you're moving at a good clip, and you don't stop for longer than to water the horses at the watch. If you left first thing in the morning, you'd probably get there before dinner. Yeah, that sounds about right from what I've heard from some of the other wagoners. But as I said, we're there. If you need us, we're there, and we're not probably anywhere near as skilled as you all, but we have learned a few things. And you see Jank reaches behind his head and pulls out 2 maces. One of which is the one you gave him.
Aww.
And then he's got one that looks like it might actually be magical.
Ooh.
Very impressive.
Then he says, he just clinks them together and goes, boom.
Love it.
Yeah. Talnor and I are pretty good with the out of doors and animals, and Jank is real handy with them things. And he had that one you give him, he hasn't put down. And then he got his other one, and oof, yeah, we haven't had a whole lot of problems in a while. And Rothric, well, he's actually real good with that bow of his.
Really?
Yeah. Oh.
This is our friend Gwenlaryn.
Oh, howdy, Lady Gwenlaryn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Graf. I'm the leader of this crew, and that one, the short one with the maces, that's Jank, and the one with the bow over his shoulder, that's Rothric, and the one with the green hair, that's Talnor.
Lovely to meet you all. I also have a bow I like rather well, and I produce mine.
And Talnor kind of leans forward and says in a very, very soft voice, "Impressive. I've never been able to master the larger bow. But
Maybe we'll have an opportunity for some lessons.
I find the shorter one and I tend to do fine. It's easier to shoot from the wagons."
You have to have the right bow for the job.
Indeed.
Well, meet back up this evening or afternoon and let you know what our plans are.
That sounds fine to me. I was going to send the boys on a run to the tower, but that'll take a couple days at most. Would you be leaving earlier than that?
I don't.
We have no idea.
We have a couple of other favors to call in, so I don't think we'll be ready to head to Strafsoman's any sooner than that.
All right. Well then, Graf, you and your team head to Warehouse 4. They'll load you up, head to the tower, drop it off, and come back. As you say, sir. We will be happy to do that. And, ladies, it was a pleasure to see you again. Gwenlaryn, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet all of you.
All right. And he just turns and leads the other 3, and they walk out of the courtyard. So, I'm, again, not fully in the know here. How do you know Graf and his crew?
One of our very first, well, actually our first adventure with Tasha, we went to stop the bandits that were attacking south of town, and
Oh, yes, the ones that Allerton was funding.
yes.
I remember. Interesting. Well, we've definitely made an impression on him. On all of them, I'd say.
We did our best to bring back a fallen friend of theirs, and they appreciated that.
Yep, that would do it. They're good men. They finished up their contract with the army and were looking around for other employment, and well, I talked to a couple people and found out that they did very good work, so I offered them a job.
Glad. So I guess we should get going on our errands. Athgarr should be back anytime.
Do you all have a moment to talk privately?
Sure.
Well, I'll leave you to that then. If I see Athgarr, do you want me to tell him something or send him somewhere?
Sure, you can have him join us.
Well, actually, you should send him up to
Needs to get measured.
Lady Lorana.
The solarium.
Fitted.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure that she told the guards.
Yes.
And I'm sure as soon as he enters the house or enters the premises that he'll be directed up that way. But I will make certain to send him down when he's finished.
Thank you.
And he turns and walks into the house, leaving the four of you alone in the courtyard.
So I have a really strange request. Is there a way that we can speak so that even if someone were listening or watching us, we couldn't be heard?
A spell?
Like right now?
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the See Invisible? Do I have See Invisible?
I think it's in the. Is it in the loot? Or is that invisibility?
I have See Invisibility.
I think
For an hour.
we put the hut up, right? And then it would be muffled.
No, the hut doesn't stop sound at all.
Oh, not at all.
No.
Okay.
But Tasha, if you would, make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. 18.
Something about all of this is,
Vaguely familiar.
well, you think that you may have something better, but you can't quite call it to mind at the moment.
But not the hut.
You mean the mansion?
What mansion?
Well-
The hut, talking about the hut makes you think about the fact that you now have an alternative that
Yes.
you have just recently finished designing, and you think for a moment, and then something goes click, and you realize with some delight, scrying works within a single dimension. The mansion creates, like the rope trick does, an extra dimensional space. meaning that no one on this plane would be able to scry into the mansion.
Oh.
It's 2 separate dimensions.
Oh.
Or I guess we could have climbed the rope.
You could mention that, and it might be less costly in spells than so that we could do that, but I wouldn't have thought of that, so you would have to inform me.
We've done that one before. But yeah, whichever.
Yeah, so...
Right, but I wouldn't know that about scrying.
The rope trick, yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean, I know that rope trick produces an extra dimensional space, but I don't know that scrying is only on this plane.
I wasn't thinking of scrying. I thought you just didn't want like Athgarr to hear us. So
No. I told them they could send Athgarr out. So
right. I mean, that was or a person. I wasn't thinking
right.
Scrying.
So yes, we could do rope trick, and that would make it so that no one could hear us.
Okay, so I will cast rope trick.
Okay.
And I will climb into that space.
We just need to leave the rope down for Athgarr, right?
Yes, but we will close the opening so that it is scry proof.
All right, so we're in our tree
Well,
house.
no one can see into the space for rope trick. You can only see out of it.
Okay.
It's one-way vision. The rope leads up to nothing. It leads up to sky.
Yep. Okay.
I sent Athgarr a message.
Do it before you climb up.
Yeah. Athgarr, we're
in the
using
courtyard.
rope trick. We're in the courtyard with rope trick. We're leaving the rope out for you.
Very well, I'm being measured.
Join us when you can.
Well, you can't. It's not a conversation. You sent the message. He says, I'm being measured, but when she's finished, I'll join you.
Oh, that's so funny.
Silly.
She did say she wasn't used to dealing with men.
Right.
Okay, so have you all joined me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Should we? Well. Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about how we were discovered so quickly. And we know that we have been scryed upon. We weren't entirely sure who was watching us, but we knew that we've been watched at various times. That's why we've been trying to get like that lantern.
Yeah.
So as I think about how opportune the moment was for them to jump us, I started wondering if maybe we're being watched. And so if that's the case, then it wouldn't matter how much disguise we put on. They know where we are, and they only need to watch one of us. Any one of us they could be watching, and they would know what all of us are talking about, and even what we're thinking. I mean, I don't have any experience with scrying, but as a scout/spy, I have interacted with enough people who have to know that that's a primary way people keep track of things they want to know. And so I think it's really dangerous for us to be having conversations about our plans when anybody could be watching or listening. However, because I'm also, again, used to rubbing elbows with spies, they don't know that we know that they're watching. So we could plan our event here, perhaps just setting up the mansion each night to sleep under the pretext of needing more room. And we could we could plan privately every evening and then lay a different plan during the day that we talk about publicly, so that they think we're going somewhere else or planning an event at another time. Use their own weapon against them. Maybe have the edge for once.
Sounds really smart.
Why, thank you.
Very good idea.
Yeah.
So I think we should just come up with a fake plan.
I also don't know if we're going to get to Strafsoman's in 13 days and back. I just don't think it's going to be possible. But in the meantime, I don't know what we're going to do. So, and we don't know if, I don't know. I don't know. That was just my thought, since we're here and we're talking about things.
I think it might be a push. I mean, we could get there in a day, but maybe we do this. Maybe we use our tools and we get sneaky, and we could say, listen, we don't have time. We've got this big festival coming up. We need to be appropriately attired. We need to hobnob with the important people and nobles here in the capital. And we start talking about how we really need this plan for afterward, and make that clear that that's what we're doing. We're not doing anything until afterward. But secretly, a small group, maybe not all of us, but just a few that could disguise and teleport, we could make an intel run. Just get in there enough to see how many they have, and maybe even find out who's scrying, if there is someone there scrying on us.
Did we get that lantern?
We got something.
The lantern of revealing? Did we get that?
We did, but that only tells us if somebody's scrying on us. It doesn't prevent them from scrying on us. It just means we know.
But we should be using that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, but again, we could do that, but then they would know we know. And so instead, we could pretend that we don't know.
Well, we have caught them before, right?
We have, but we obviously haven't been watching. And they've caught us off guard a couple of times, which will make them bold. They'll believe we don't know.
Well, I don't know if I can't teleport to Strafsoman. And how far is Kilcross? We did go to Kilcross.
But what we could do, you could teleport us to the sanctum.
Well, I think we want to go in with the merchants, right? As cover.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but we could.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We could just send just a team of 2.
I don't think we should not all go.
And splitting that party that way.
In that place, I don't think is safe.
I don't think Tasha should go. I mean, she's not safe there. But I can disguise and be invisible. Zori can teleport. I can easily get the 2 of us in and out of there just to scout around, which is literally what I do.
I would presume that Park is working with them and can see through your disguise.
Mm-hmm. She can.
Why would she be able to see through my disguise?
She can see through everybody's disguises.
That's what I mean. She's a deception person. I can't think of what it's called, but
I'm a gloomstalker. This is what I do.
Yeah, even so, she can see through. As long as you're using magic, she can tell.
Because Zori would be. You're not going by yourself, and none of the rest of us are gloomstalkers.
No, that's why it would need to be a small group, a small enough group that I can cast greater invisibility on both of us.
She can see through greater invisibility. That's what I'm telling you.
I think the thing is, if we go, we're going, right? I mean, I think at this point,
I think there's something to be said for being stealthy.
I agree.
Absolutely, yeah, agree.
But we should be stealthy together.
But I don't want to leave Tasha by herself either.
And keep in mind, Gwen, you would know greater invisibility lasts for a minute.
It does.
Yeah, and that's it.
I know. But we wouldn't take long if we can teleport.
Teleporting.
Can't teleport to the end though, because she hasn't been there. Well, she can, but it would be really risky, right?
You can teleport back.
Yes, she could teleport back.
So we don't need much time. We just need a way to get in, and then she can teleport us out.
It sounds very dangerous.
Which is what I
would never expect it.
With the wagons and stuff, that we'll be able to get out if we have to. So
if they were watching the conversation we just had, they know about the wagons.
Right.
So we can set that up as a decoy. That's what they expect.
I don't want them to get attacked though, but without us there. But again, it's
I agree.
Going after, right? We'll meet them in Kilcroft after the festival.
Right. And if they think we're not doing anything until after the festival, then before is the time. They won't see this coming.
Or they'll attack here again.
They could do that anyway.
Right. But I mean, they may decide to attack here again instead of waiting until after the festival.
Right.
And if we're separated, that could be bad.
All right. Well, it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, though, is that we
see
should...
Athgar's head poke up out of nowhere. What's something to be considered?
Come in and close this thing.
And then we keep them up to date.
Okay.
I want to find out what all of our options are first.
Agreed.
Okay.
But I think we should have a plan that we agree we talk about in front of, just whenever we are not in an extra dimensional space. And I think we should set up a plan to routinely have an excuse to be in an interdimensional space so that we can have these conversations daily without it being suspicious.
Well, if we go back to my house, it's not big enough for all of us, so it'd be perfectly reasonable that we're staying in the mansion.
The other question...
But the problem is
Go ahead.
If they scry on us, how does the mansion work? If you know where the door is, you can't get in still, right?
Nope. Only people that the caster notes in the casting can enter the mansion.
But if we're being scryed on when she casts it, they will know that we're in somewhere, and they can dispel it if they're capable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd have to be there, right? They can't do that from...
They
distance.
can do that. Oh,
Right.
they would have to be there, but then if they wanted to...
They would know where we were because of the scrying if that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
But at least we'd have a warning, and they wouldn't... they still wouldn't know what we were doing.
Right. We just get booted out of the space, but that can happen.
Right. So the other thing I was thinking about, as I'm thinking about scrying in general, I don't know much about it, but it seems like maybe some people at the tower would have expertise in this area and would know how we could protect ourselves from scrying.
There are necklaces. They're very expensive and they're very hard to find.
But maybe they would already have some. I mean, if that's like what they do, maybe
We
they
talked
would.
That shop in Thunder's Edge, but it was the cost.
Viessa, we're right, and now we have way more money, but they were like disgustingly expensive. Weren't they like
Right.
20,000? Viessa has one, but
They
I
were, the shopkeeper said that he didn't have any, but he could make them. But the cost would be 32,000 gold
each.
per necklace. And
Right.
each necklace would take 20 days to fashion.
So that's
So we don't have time to have them made, but maybe if there are people who study divination, it seems like that might be the kind of thing they would already have. And maybe we could just borrow one.
We all have to have them.
Right, one each. I mean, I don't know if they would have them, but it seems like it would be easy enough to ask. If we could get, again, them into a private space where we could be sure we weren't being scryed upon and then ask.
I still think that goes back to then they'll know. If we do that, they know we know.
That's true.
We need to go talk to Viessa.
Yeah.
What time is it, Jeff?
Probably
again-
at this point it's going on lunchtime.
Okay, we're supposed to be there at 11, so
Yeah.
we should probably go.
We have to be careful how we talk to Viessa, because if
Maybe
they're watching then,
maybe we can move into a space for that conversation. Or Viessa's
Place is probably warded.
place is probably warded again.
we should ask her. Yeah.
Maybe write it. Yeah, I mean, not ask her out loud, but
And if they're watching us, they can, depending on how they're watching us, I think they can even know our thoughts. So even writing it might be dangerous.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Tasha, Zorith,
Yes.
please roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Like I said, I've heard this from the people, from the spies I've known.
I got a natural 20.
I got a-
27. I got a Kraken.
I pull out a piece of parchment and start writing.
I got less than 27,
Okay.
but like 24.
Zorith, when she says this, you are reminded of one of the classes you took in the Tower of Enchantment, and they detailed the magical item known as a crystal ball. Anyone with a crystal ball can scry whenever they want, as long as they want. But you also remember there are 3 variations, 3 advanced crystal balls. One of them allows the person scrying to communicate telepathically with anyone they see in the scry.
Okay.
One of them is a crystal ball imbued with true seeing, so that all illusions and invisibility and polymorph, shape change, wild shape, any sort of change from one's natural appearance is detected through the scry.
Obviously, I'm speaking this out loud.
And then the last one is there is a crystal ball that is also imbued with the detect thoughts spell to allow someone to read surface thoughts of anyone being scryed upon.
And I say that.
That's consistent with what I've heard.
I pull out a piece of parchment and I write on it, think we are being scryed upon, need a place to talk securely, don't want to let them know we know. And then I fold it up to take with us.
But you're going to have to guard your thoughts, because you also, until we find out, we can't even think about these things.
I mean, that's impossible.
Right. But then they know that's why we came up here, because you were going to tell us, right? I mean,
The
They
only
may
way
already
to guard
know.
your thoughts
oh,
Right.
It's
There's
for the
only so
spell.
much that we can do.
So if they do have something like this, again,
Nothing
sneaking
we
in
do
and-
is going to be secret.
We just do the best we can.
Yeah. So maybe Viessa's after a quick break.
Yep. And we're right at about 2 hours, so this is a perfect time to take a break. So we will be back in 15. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back. So there are now 5 sitting in the rope trick. And the discussion continues.
All right.
No, well, we need to go to Viessa's right now.
One sec. I've been rolling all of this around in my head. So if we assume that they have this scrying device where they can actually read our thoughts, then maybe it's just prudent to use the lantern.
Well, then we'd know if they were scrying.
Yes.
And they would know we know.
But if they can read our thoughts, they know we know already. Anyway.
Yeah, that part we
But
can't
they
worry
might not.
about.
What?
Whom? Me?
No, Gwen.
So if they know our thoughts, we're screwed. I mean, there's no getting around it. Like, we can't not think our thoughts.
But
so if we find out that they are scrying, then assuming that they can't read our thoughts, then we've blown the only advantage we have.
I don't know.
The only advantage we have is if they can't read our thoughts and they think we don't know. Then there's an opportunity.
Well, let's
think about it.
I was just gonna say that, but
I mean, yeah. I'm just not sure how we navigate all of that. I'm not sure how we navigate not thinking.
No, we can't. I mean, so we just have to take that off the table because we can't hide our thoughts. So we just have to hope that that's not the way that this works. And then if it is in fact the case that they can't read our thoughts, then we have an opportunity.
Okay. It's really my head. I'm gonna have to think about it for a while.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go see Viessa.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. As you all climb down out of the rope trick, you find yourselves back in the courtyard to Thebes Manor.
Aribell, do you have to run in and tell them that we're leaving, or is it okay if we just go? You're muted, baby. Oh.
I'll run in and then be right out.
Yeah. Okay.
I go in and tell them we're leaving. Get the package so that after we're done at Jojo's, we can make a detour.
Okay.
And then I come back out carrying a rather large parcel.
Okay. Brilliant. I can't wait to see what it is. We head on off to Jojo's. Are we disguising ourselves or are we just walking there?
I don't think we should bother with the disguise.
Well, I won't teleport us, but yeah, we'll just do what we gotta do.
Yep.
All right. You head off down the road, headed for Eastbridge. Athgarr makes a point of walking up beside Gwenlaryn, and he just says, Lady Larissa's maid, Way? Yes, she asked me to give you something, and I found something for you as well. And he hands you a folded piece of parchment and something soft in just like brown paper. And then he just kind of moves back up toward the front of the group.
I open it.
Okay. It is
Is it a bomb?
No.
So close.
You see that it is a long, probably about 5-inch wide, gray silk scarf. Like silvery gray.
What the hell am I supposed to do with this? Maybe he's confused.
Who is it from? Is that package from him? I mean, I'm just clarifying. I'm trying to write it down, but...
I guess so?
Who's standing by you? Or who's walking by you?
I don't know.
Probably
who's
no
walking
one.
by her.
I
Mm.
am.
Well,
Okay.
it was Athgarr,
Mhm,
but then
yeah.
he moved.
Yeah, he was up front, and then he sort of dropped back to hand her these two things, and then he went back up.
So what did he hand her? He handed her the paper.
Yep.
Of her measurements, basically, and this gray silk scarf that proposedly he bought for her. Okay.
I don't get it.
I believe in polite circles. You just say thank you.
Okay. When have I ever worn a silk scarf?
Maybe he thought it was pretty and you'd like it.
I guess you could probably bind a wound with it. I mean, okay.
You might need it for another occasion.
Okay. I'll put it in my bag.
It takes maybe 5 minutes to get to the shouting pirate. As you are approaching down the street, you see that there are a few soldiers up on a pair of ladders, and it looks like they're trying to repair the burnt section of the front roof.
Weren't we going to try to mend some things?
We haven't gotten a chance yet.
Maybe we could help them.
Well, after Viessa.
Okay.
So, we go in the pirate.
As you walk in, you hear kind of a normal murmur of voices. You see that the place is about maybe a third full. And you see Jalea behind the counter. As you look over to your table, you see Jojo sitting at your table. He's sitting in one chair. He's got a pillow behind him and a blanket over him, and his feet up on another chair. And you see seated not at the table but at a chair sort of behind him, just sort of kicked back, arms crossed, watching everything, is Viessa.
I go over to Jojo and I hug him and I say, I'm sorry things happened the way they did and my part in it. Don't do it again.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what your part in me going outside was, but I've already been told I'm not doing it again, or I'll get killed and stay dead this time.
Well, I'm sorry we left. I didn't think.
Jojo just looks at you for a second, and then you see his face sort of get this look of tenderness. And he just reaches out and he puts a hand on your face and says, "This wasn't your fault, my dear. You're the professionals. I'm the retired bar jockey who thought he'd get back in the game. You've got no responsibility in what happened to me. None. And if you think you have any, well, then you're wrong."
Well, it'll take me some time to work through it, but I'm glad you're on the mend.
I'm still not feeling quite back to normal, but I feel noticeably better than I did yesterday. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I could, help out with the lunch rush. And you see a hand come. I mean, he's just starting to sit up, and all of a sudden, wham! You see Viessa's hand going. "We had this talk before, Jojo. You're not going anywhere. Stop fronting. Just sit. She's got it. You trained her well. Be satisfied and stay in your chair."
I say, Jojo, it's great to see you looking so improved. I hope that you continue to feel better. Is Lord Synchron keeping an eye on you?
He lifts up the blanket, and there's the cat, who just kind of opens an eye and goes,
Lord Synchron, it's good to see you. I hope that you have started to forgive us for allowing your pet to be harmed on our watch.
And he's already gone back to sleep, or at least he is making it look like he's gone back to sleep. You're not entirely sure.
Well, since he doesn't seem chatty, I'm not going to cast Speaks with Animals.
I sit down.
Okay.
I haul my big roll thing somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, you can lean it against the back of the bar.
Yeah, where it would be safe.
Right.
And then I come sit down.
Okay.
I take a peek at the note from the seamstress. Does it have the address that she indicated?
Yes, it does.
Is it anywhere close to where we are?
It's in Merchant's Ward. So it's back the other side of the city, on the other side of Lord's Ward. It's in the same part of the city that Aribell's house is in.
Okay. So maybe on the way back.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think Tasha's song in my head as I walk by Viessa and hand her the note that I said I wrote, and I sit down.
Okay. And she just...
Hi, Synchron.
She takes it and just kind of tucks it in her jacket. Looks at you and nods.
So, here we are.
eaten lunch. It might take a little longer to get food today, but she's doing as best she can.
I think
She seems to be doing well.
Yeah. Her note said we wanted to speak in private, right?
Yeah, it said that we think we're being scryed upon. Does she have somewhere basically safe to talk?
Got it.
We
Okay.
don't want them to know we know.
Oh, yeah.
So did you have something you wanted to... Was the gift for here or for somewhere else, Aribell?
Oh, it's for Lord. We have to stop at the Lord's Manor after this.
Go
Okay.
insane.
Oh, ooh, what fun.
I have a gift for him.
Oh, well. I suppose everyone deserves a gift occasionally.
Indeed.
Although I can't for the life of me think what that man could possibly want that he doesn't already have.
It's a special commission done by my mother.
Oh,
Oh?
lovely.
Well, I'm
That's right.
fairly certain he doesn't have that. So,
Sure, he has some of her work, but he doesn't have one of these.
Wisely chosen. What do you get the man who has everything he thinks he wants? Something he didn't know he wanted.
Right.
Very nice. Oh. Captain Warbender was here.
Oh, yeah.
He left, where did I put it? It's up in me room. Oh, right, of course. Please make sure he stays seated. Don't let him go anywhere. I'll be back in a moment. She gets up and walks up the stairs.
I
Oh,
look
shit.
at Jojo and I say, please, don't move. You don't want us to get into trouble, do you?
It's going to be that game, is it? All right, fine.
You've been mostly dead for a day.
Well,
Bruce,
I certainly felt like it yesterday, I'll tell you. But as I said, I'm feeling a bit more like my old self today. Just not quite back to full steam.
So, you might have to give yourself, I don't know, 3 days at least.
No.
Mhm.
Seems for the best.
Let's hope it's gonna work itself out quicker than that.
Well, look, you're on day 2 already. You just have one more day after this.
It's
And
4, I
You've got-
think.
And I'm frightfully bored.
once I see Viessa's coming back down and in earshot, because I know she'll be able to hear me,
Mm-hmm.
see Jojo, and just to prove how serious this is, I haven't been snarky about Viessa in a whole day. If that gives weight to how serious this is.
Viessa steps up and says, and I haven't mentioned how annoying paladins are and hours.
Only you, Jojo, could broker a truce like this.
She's not wrong. And she holds out a scroll to Tasha. This is what the captain left for you. He said that it was nothing that needed a response. It was just information to pass along to you.
I open it.
It basically is just a note that says, Tasha, Nuck is rearing to go.
I have arranged for leave for her, should you want her to accompany you. Also, Vines said he would be happy to help. But so far, that's it.
All
Warbender.
Right. Okay. Well, that's something.
And Viessa just kind of sits back and puts her hand over on Jojo's arm and kind of looks at the ceiling and says, I don't know Vines.
She didn't read it out loud.
I know.
Oh.
She read it.
Yeah, of course she did. I forgot. It's Viessa.
I wouldn't have expected anything less.
I would have.
Well, you know. Everyone has vines that they can use, right?
I prefer the grape variety.
Ooh, those are good. I prefer them as well.
There's so many different locations along a grapevine.
Indeed.
Well, yes. Athgarr? Oh, yes, ma'am. Take my seat. I'm charging you with keeping this old man on his ass. The ladies and I need to have a chat. Very well.
Does she get up and go somewhere?
Yep. She gets up and walks back into the storage room.
And
We follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on my gift too, Athgarr.
Of course. She waits till you're all through, and then closes the door, then goes over and moves a large crate, opens the trap door, and heads down.
We follow.
You get down into the root cellar and then down below the root cellar into the tunnel. And you see a half-elf in dark gray trousers and vest and a sort of cream-colored shirt standing there. And Viessa says, "If you please." And he just nods and begins casting a spell. And you see a glowing doorway rise from the ground. And Viessa says, and just gestures to the doorway.
I'll step through.
Yeah.
Go in.
Okay. And she goes in, and as you step in, you step into what looks like her speakeasy. And she closes the door, just like you'd walked in from the hallway beneath Portward.
Okay.
And she says, "No one can scry on us here."
Excellent.
So what can I do for you?
We had asked about Strafsoman's End, and if you knew of anyone who was leading the resistance there, or right? We asked that. I'm pretty sure we did.
I've done a little bit of digging. Obviously, tending to Jojo's taken up most of my time. But I did ask a few people to whisper in a few ears. I don't have actually many contacts in the end, because they get found out somehow. So I keep having to replace them. And then
Perhaps they're being scryed upon.
I'm beginning to think that's a distinct possibility. What I've been able to uncover is that there are rumors that there is some sort of resistance brewing. But no one seems to know where. No one seems to know who. And no one seems to be aware of anything this resistance might have done up to this point. So if they're there, they're either not very well organized, or they're not
Very well
good,
organized.
or they're not very good, because they haven't done anything.
Or they're very organized and they're waiting.
If they've discovered the scrying issue, then perhaps this low-key approach is the only safe approach to being the resistance.
Perhaps. Although, if that's the case, they are much more patient than I would be.
I personally don't think we can make it there and back in 13 days and lead a resistance fight.
No, I think we'd be better off doing a spying mission, and especially if we could look into the possibility of, if they do have some kind of scrying device, if we could sneak in and grab it, that would be a game changer.
If there is such a thing, chances are it is in the possession of Viessa Strafsoman, which means it would be in his keep.
Indeed.
I don't know of any way in that wouldn't involve siege engines. So simply slipping in and picking something up,
It might
not very realistic.
It might even be a person who is capable of scrying and not an object. I mean, I like the idea of a spy mission, but we aren't equipped for that.
And Tasha, you're muted.
Honest, the only person here who's been inside that building is me. And we all agreed that it was too dangerous to take me.
I didn't agree with that, but everyone else did.
Wow.
I don't see how we... Oh, yes, that's right. Athgar's not there. Never mind.
We can't do what we're going to do without Tasha's help. If Tasha doesn't go, we might as well not go.
Right, exactly. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. I thought you meant for a spy mission, Tasha should not go, but kind of like the idea of a lost member of the family to come back and lead a resistance when we get there. And
I'm not a member of the family. I'm just another slave.
I thought you were his niece or something.
You are his niece.
Supposedly. But he didn't treat me like a niece. He treated me like a slave.
Right.
I assume you're speaking of Zagrin?
Yes.
Well, Zagrin is an ass. Zagrin doesn't treat anyone well except Zagrin.
Well, I was just saying that once we get there and have there's just so much in the air about it.
What we do know is we can't trust anyone there. No one. We know that already.
Whether you
sell us out, every single person we have to assume would sell us out,
including your people.
The only people that we can trust are the ones we take with us.
And we do actually have quite a few that are willing to go with us, but taking all of them with us it's going to be an ordeal. We're going to have to pre-plan a big thing. I don't know.
Well, if there is a resistance, one would assume that they would be more on the trustworthy side than anyone else there.
But how do you ask about a resistance without asking about the resistance?
You raise a valid question.
Boy, this place sucks. Anybody got some better ideas?
I don't know. I think
But you all think that's a bad idea.
What?
What?
I wanted to take a dragon, but you all seem to think that's
No, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
I don't think
Look
the
like
dragons are going to get involved in human disputes.
We can ask.
I
All we
don't
can do is ask.
look like a dragon when they go. I think they should look like a human, an elf, whatever, but I think we should take a dragon.
I think we should ask the dragons if they're willing to help us. I don't think there's any harm in asking.
That would certainly level the odds slightly more in your favor.
It certainly would.
I just don't think it's going to be possible in 13 days.
13 days is a long time.
13 days is a long time?
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's
Okay.
3 days there.
Especially if we have a dragon.
Well, it's 3 days to get there on foot.
But it wouldn't take us 3 days if we
Right.
teleport to
We're going to
Sanctum.
teleport to Killcross, meet the wagons there, if we go with the wagons.
I think we should go with the wagons.
Yeah, so we need to send them ahead. I mean, I can only teleport, I think it's 8 at a time. And if we send the 4 guys ahead, it's going to take 3 days for them to get there. Even if they leave tomorrow.
2 to Killcross, 1 from there to Strafsoman's. We have to find out if somebody's coming from the edge, how long they're going to take. If somebody's going to come from Romani, how long that will take.
Don't forget that if someone was scrying, they know the whole plan with the wagons.
Right, but they don't know when we're coming.
They have only to look at one of us or at one of the people involved with the wagons to find out.
We can't, we want to be careful about scrying, but we can't. They're not scrying on us all day long, all the time.
They could.
They wouldn't have that kind of power. No one can scry that much. It's a spell.
No, we were talking about if they have a crystal ball, then they can absolutely scry on us whenever and for as long as they want.
Right? They have to rest. They can't scry on all of us all of the time.
I'm sure there's more than one thing that they're scrying on.
They only have to scry on one of us. We're always together.
Right. But what I'm saying is that they're not going to just scry on that one person all the time.
We're not their only whoever. I mean, we don't even know who's scrying on us. We know the one person in Thunder's Edge was watching us, right?
That would have been Lord Tremaine.
No, there was a
Or Aerolacus, right?
shopkeeper, that magic guy. He told us he was trying to watch us. Or one of the dragons was. I mean, we don't know who's watching us.
Well, I think it would make sense to go to the tower and talk to the experts and see if they can help us figure it out or figure out a way to get around it.
I mean, we don't have to use the teleport. We have the circle there.
At least then we would have information, and maybe if they have some devices that would keep us from being scryed upon, maybe we could borrow them since they're so valuable.
Yeah, what do you think, Zori? Do you think your mentor would help us with that?
Would I know if such expensive things would be at the school in their possession?
I'm not even going to make you roll for this one. You know that in the Enchanter's Tower, they are regularly working on items either for use by the faculty and staff at the tower or to sell as part of the budget for the tower. Now, whether they've been working on this particular item and if they have any currently made, you have no idea.
But it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
It's not beyond the realm of possibility. No, you're correct. Viessa, in all of your stuff, you wouldn't happen to have a necklace of non-detection.
She reaches into her collar and pulls out a necklace and says, "Oh, you mean like this one?"
Oh.
You have 6 more?
I don't even have one more.
They're rare. I mean, very rare.
I had 4 others. Unfortunately, they disappeared with my strike team.
Awesome. So those are probably on the Platinum Hammer. We could detour and try and recover them.
Well, if you can figure out where their weaponry and arms are being stored, you're one up on me. I haven't been able to find that out yet.
Didn't you say that you thought they were destroyed in the big explosion?
Yes.
I think magic items got destroyed in an explosion.
Of that magnitude, it's very possible.
But not for sure.
No.
All right. Ooh. Well, that sounds like a wild goose chase.
Well,
Well, but you know people at the tower. You could just send them a message. Yes.
Yes.
There'd be no need to go.
If we sent it from here, would it be protected from scrying?
You can't reach them from here.
So if we sent it from anywhere else,
Well,
then
yes.
they'd know we know.
Well, no, because the messages don't have to be spoken out loud. You know that.
Yeah, I don't actually say what I'm saying when I send it.
Okay.
Nor does Athgarr.
God.
Are you okay?
Yeah, there's so many moving parts that.
well, we've never planned an assault on a city.
No. We've never started a revolution.
So I think warbenders probably our best source of advice on
How
we
to at least approach it.
strategize. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think I should send a message to your mentor.
When we leave here.
What will we say? We are in need of 5 necklace of non-detection. Does the school have some we can borrow?
Yeah. Or buy real cheap.
Right. Okay.
Or maybe even ask, or is there some other device that we could use that would protect all of us from
I don't
being
think
scryed
there
upon?
is.
Detection.
They would know.
I know, but
It's not
I'm
just
looking.
us though, right? We've got 4 people in a wagon. We have
Yeah, I'm not sure that the wagon thing
Warbender.
is.
We have
Nuck and Vines. Warbender's not coming with us.
no, but he knows what we're doing and he'll know when we go.
Nuck and Vines and
This just has to be kept very.
again, we have to
Quiet.
assume that
Right. We can't put scrying, we're gonna ask BA for help. I mean, if it's Park, she knows who our allies are.
that's true.
We can't put,
We can't hide from everyone.
well, okay.
they have to know we're coming.
Number 1, we should talk to the dragons, right? And see if they can help us. Because if they can't help us, then we can't do this until after Dragon Day. There's no way we can make it work. Number 2, if the dragons are willing to help us in some capacity, then we can send a message to gosh, I can't remember the name of your mentor.
Oberus.
Who?
Obrith.
Oberus. Then we can send a message to Oberus. But if we have a dragon, I think we could do this without the whole wagon thing.
Well, if we have a dragon, it becomes a different strategy.
Scenario.
Yeah.
Right. So let's
I mean, like-
start there.
They're not going to come in like blowing fire on everything, but we, walk in under different context.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still with the potential to be market people, whatever the name is.
Merchants?
That's the thing. But we have a dragon in our pocket for once stuff hits the fan. But we need to find out if they're willing to take on human slavery issues.
And if they're not,
Then we plan something else.
Then we have to come up with a much longer plan.
Well, it's not just that, it's also protecting Tasha, who is one of them, because they keep attacking Tasha. And if we're their family, then hopefully they will help us.
Good point.
So, let me see if I understand this correctly. You have allies that will assist you. Some of them will require this to start later than others. But you have the 5 of you plus 2 other individuals plus potentially
4.
Well, I'm not including the wagoners. I'm thinking if you went without them, because that's quicker. Possibly people from Thunder's Edge, possibly people from Romani Keep.
Yes.
And if I understand your capabilities correctly, you can get relatively close in a day.
Yes.
So then that is, let's say, 2 days. That takes you to 11 days before the festival.
Yes.
What exactly do you anticipate liberating the town is going to look like?
No idea. Killing
Well,
Zagran and Yusuf.
All right. That's 2 battles.
and his henchmen.
And getting to each of them. I mean, if we
Right.
could get into the homestead, right, we can maybe get to Zagran. Zagran's cocky enough. If he knows Tasha's there, he may come out.
Oh, here's something you don't know that I do.
Oh,
Zagran doesn't tend to spend much time inside Straf's home.
He's in the market.
He spends most nights in his mistress's house in the paddock.
really?
According to the last bit of information I've received, yes.
That's not as well protected.
Oh no, well, there are guards on patrol
Sure.
and guards at the entrances to Straf's home. But beyond that, it's much like any other city.
Well, I guess what we were trying or hoping for at some point was finding rebels beforehand.
No.
So,
Well, at least
3 days.
why don't you want to find rebels beforehand? Because we can't trust any of them?
Right. And
Aren't
it's a
gonna
long
be-
shot. I mean, we just don't know if they exist.
And they might not want to risk their lives until they see that we're actually can help. So we take out Zagran. That probably gives a little bit more.
And the chances of them remembering me are not that good.
Okay. Okay.
So, 4 days. And in those 4 days, you travel, you arrive, you deal with Zagran, and hopefully make contact with this resistance. That still leaves 9 days, and the only thing left on your agenda is the death of one man.
I'm not gonna lie. With 3 magic users and 6 I mean, I know that there's going to be people that help us, but trying to orchestrate a potential 6 more people is going to be difficult, right?
I don't think it's that difficult if we have a dragon. So let's find out if we have a dragon.
It's not difficult
Before-
if we have a dragon. I just think it's faster if we have a dragon.
Okay, so who would possibly be coming from Thunder's Edge?
We don't know.
We don't know.
And who would be coming from Romani Keep?
We
Isn't
don't-
Vines part of Romani Keep?
No, he's from Greensboro, but he's part of the military.
So
We
Nuck
don't-
and Vines, 2 people
From the military. We're gonna
Right?
that we have for sure.
So you have a fighter, another fighter, a straight fighter, and a
And
druid.
a druid. Yeah.
Sikuthos, you want to go on an adventure?
So
Um,
you have someone who can wild shape,
Yes.
which you want to talk about being able to infiltrate and collect information.
Yeah.
But where do we stay?
So
Okay. I'm going to stop saying but. I'm sorry.
We could do this if we just had an apocalypse cloak. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you mean this?
If we don't
Miracle Max said it fit me so nice, he said I could keep it.
Right.
if we don't take the wagon, or we have the wagons go separate with supplies and things, they can go in and get information and not be with us and hopefully be a little safer. And we can gather at the sanctum and go up from the water.
The wagons would also make a great decoy.
Again, though, we're sending 4 people out into the unknown.
To be a decoy.
If they aren't scrying on us, then they are in no danger.
Merchants do go to Strafsoman. It's not.
Sure.
And if they're scrying on us, we won't be with them.
True.
So,
Yeah.
right? Because if we go to the sanctum, then we can go across the lake.
Still think we should reach out to the tower and see if they have anything we can use.
Well, no, absolutely. But first, I want to talk to the dragons. We talk to the dragons, and then we talk to those people, and then we reach out to Thunder's Edge, and Romani.
And if we don't want to do all the messaging, right, because it's very inconvenient, we can teleport to Thunder's Edge. We can teleport to Romani Keep. We have teleportation circles to each of those.
Right.
All right. Sending is not a convenient way to talk because it's 25 words, and then another spell. And that's how are you going to, this is a conversation.
Right, but at least they can't scry on the sending. Whereas if we go in person, they can know we're there.
Well,
so why don't we start with sending 2 messages? Send one to the dragons, wait for a response, send one to the tower.
Fair. Meanwhile, we can go about our business in town, shopping for outfits for the festival.
And talking about our plan to do something after the festival.
Yes.
About our need to stay here and protect our friends.
To watch out over Jojo.
To be here for the festival, to make sure nothing happens in Airmaw.
To get fitted with our outfits.
Right.
Oh, I just thought of another thing.
There's too many things, don't think.
Nope. This is another reason why we should do this before the festival. Because if we don't, then they're going to use the festival to attack us.
It would be better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah.
And they may be getting their materials ready, so perhaps they won't be watching us as closely. I don't know.
And the festival doesn't need us. We're not going to be in every city anyway.
Right.
All right. So we have a plan.
We have a plan.
I'm sorry. What if the people who are scrying against us are the Thwenu?
The Thwenu?
Yes.
We don't know there's probably multiple people scrying on us. We don't know.
There may be. And maybe one of the things we can find out when we talk to folks at the tower is there a way to find out who's scrying on us or where the scrying is coming from? If we could narrow that down, that would be huge.
Did we get those sending stones?
Yeah. Aloric has one, right?
Mm-hmm. Aloric has one and I have one.
Okay. We need to be using that more.
Well, it's only a once a day use.
Still, we haven't used it at all.
No, Zori's used it a couple times. Well, Zori's used it once and Aloric has used it once.
Okay.
We don't know how often they talk.
That's true.
True.
We really don't.
She's only sleeps 4 hours a night.
That'd be freaking, but you can only send, it's literally 25 words. It's not like we're having a long telephone conversation, 4-hour telephone conversation every night.
Right.
I'm not going to ask you if you're stoning with, I'm not even asking.
Stoning?
Are you stoning with Aloric? What? No.
There's a band name, Stoning with the Tiefling.
That's funny.
All right.
Okay.
Deflicts don't know. Anyway.
All right, let's get to it. We've got a plan to put in action.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So we leave the mansion.
Mm-hmm. And you leave the bar and find
The
yourselves
speak isn't-
right back in the hallway.
Start climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Can we?
Careful what you ask.
Can we?
We're out.
Whom are you asking? Are you asking the DM or are you asking us?
I'm asking the DM.
Okay.
Can we do sendings from the interdimensional?
No.
Okay.
Only
All
to
right.
someone else who is in that same dimension.
Well, that's stupid.
Because
Okay.
sending works by plane.
Oh. Like paper airplane? Oh, sorry.
The plane. The plane.
All right.
All right.
Climb out of the hole.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You make your way back up into the Shouting Pirate,
Mhm.
and you see Athgarr and Jojo clearly in some sort of deep conversation.
Oh,
I
lovely.
was giving him good women advice.
I sit down at the table and I start.
Oh, they're back.
You missed us. I sit down. I go get. I ask everyone what they want to drink. I go up to Jaleesa and
Jalea.
Julia. I'm just making up names now.
Yeah.
Julia and
Order the drinks.
and order the drinks. Give her the drink order. And while I'm waiting
And
for the
she
drink
says,
order,
I'm a little slammed. You know your way around here, and Jojo loves you, so just go ahead and serve yourself.
excellent. So I get our drink order. I was actually gonna ask her if I could do that anyway. Do you need any help?
Are we staying here for a while?
Yes.
Well, we're waiting for her to send messages.
Mm-hmm.
I get up and I go in the kitchen.
Okay, well, that's just behind the bar, but...
Yeah.
Do you need me to serve drinks or anything?
Oh, I really hate to ask, but...
Oh, sweetheart, it's okay.
We've all done it. We did it for Aloric when yeah, we've all done it.
I'd love to help, to be honest.
Oh, well, we're happy to do so.
Oh, thank you so much. My
Okay.
feet are already hurting.
I know the feeling.
I just push through the doors and go in the kitchen. And
Yeah, well, there's really no doors to push through. The kitchen is the back side of behind the bar.
oh, I
So
thought
it's
they-
all in one space.
oh, okay.
It's
Then I
Galley.
start.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need.
And she begins to put down little pieces of parchment that have orders written on them, and if you don't understand her shorthand, she explains it.
I start.
Okay, so I'm gonna put our drinks on the table and then I'll be right back. So I put the drinks down, I come back, and I help her until she's caught up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will also.
So that she gets a chance to breathe.
Okay. It's
And
still a
then-
little bit before noon, so you know
Mhm.
the crunch hasn't started quite yet.
I'll finish her through. I'll help her through the lunch rush. That's
Okay.
not a big deal.
While they're helping,
Mhm.
if it seems like there is an opportunity to talk privately with Athgarr, it's probably a good time to just quickly clear the air.
Okay. Well, when Viessa comes back, she spells him, and so he's now just kind of sitting at the table, sipping on his drink.
Okay. So I will sit next to him in such a way that he's turning away from the others and toward me if we talk.
Okay.
And I say, so, you gave me a scarf.
You mentioned what your favorite color was, and I saw it, and I happened to think that pretty much looks like what Gwen described as her favorite color, and since it was where I was already shopping, I thought you might like it.
It's very kind of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So about earlier, just to be clear, I don't like being reminded about the ultimatum because that's still a very sore point with me. And I don't like you bringing up the issue of, I guess, the somewhat still unresolved issue of your role in your death. So that would be why I was angry earlier.
That was made very clear to me, and I do apologize. That was not my intent to make you feel bad, especially not this morning. I was trying to make Zorith feel better. I
understand.
Didn't realize it was still as sore a subject as it appears to be. And so I do apologize.
I thank you for the apology. I just wanted to clear the air so that it won't continue to be an issue. These are just going to be somewhat sore topics for a while. And I will work on trying to get to a place where I'm not as sensitive about it, but right now it's very fresh in my mind, and it's hard to hear it being bandied about in a casual way.
So noted. I will try my best to do a bit more thinking before I speak.
Very good. Then I think we will be fine.
Now, you saw him, open his mouth to say something and then just close it 3 times before he said that.
Is there something else that you wanted to say? Or are you thinking better of it?
I think I've said all that I should.
Okay. Is there anything else, or do you think we've cleared the air?
Well, I do have a question.
Sure.
Why am I having a cloak and brooch made in copper?
Because the rest of us are dressing to represent the different houses of the metallic dragons.
Well, yes, but you are all dragonkin. I'm just a hangers-on in that area.
You are not a hangers-on.
Well, in terms of being dragonkin, I certainly am.
Well, let's put it this way. We're dragonkin, and you're our family. So that means that you're dragonkin adjacent. And so as such, that and the fact that there are 5 houses of metallic dragons and 5 of us, and we didn't want to slight any of the houses of dragons by not representing them.
That is very wise. I had not even considered that.
I hadn't either, but when Lady Aribell's mother mentioned that possibility, we thought that it would be wise to make sure that everyone is equally represented. And since there are 5 of us, it made perfect sense that you would be joining us in recognizing. Otherwise, I was going to have something lovely made for you with a lion for the Lion Clan. But the recommendation from Aribell's mother was a good one, and so we went with bronze for you. I think it'll be very flattering.
Actually, Lady Lorana did mention that my brooch for the cloak will be different than yours, and that mine will be fashioned in the form of a lion of some kind.
Yes. So we're sort of giving a nod with your cloak, but making sure that you still have representation of your own area, so that yours isn't exactly the same as ours, but yeah.
Well, I will try to be worthy of the honor.
I'm sure they will appreciate the effort being made.
All right.
Anything else?
Nothing that springs to mind.
Well, then I thank you very much for the scarf, and I will have to figure out a time to wear it that would be appropriate. I've never had a scarf before, so I was a little stumped.
Well, I think it would go fairly well with just about anything. That's the virtue of that particular color. It will mesh with almost any other shade you happen to wear.
True. It's just that I don't typically wear silk. It's not part of my typical adventurer garb. But, I'm branching out now that I'm an ambassador, so I'm sure there will become an opportunity in the future.
I did think it appropriate for one of your ambassadorial status.
I appreciate that. And since I didn't have one, this will be the first part of my ambassador garb.
Good. Well, I'm glad you'll be able to find a use for it.
I'm sure I will. I'm going to go help out with the lunch rush, but feel free to sit here and continue your conversation with Jojo. I just wanted to make sure that you and I were on better terms.
I'm glad.
Okay. I get up and tap him on the arm and then go help with the lunch rush.
Okay.
DM, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot remember. The ball that we have to contact Gago.
Mm-hmm. The orb.
Is that the orb? I can't find my stupid notes on it. Is that something that is private, or how do we contact? Is it me talking dragon? Hey now, that's an idea.
Okay, make a history check.
Oh, I found it. The Sentinel of the Sands, Orb of Desert, Minds Linked. But that doesn't tell me if...
Well, what that means is that you discovered, if you remember, that you could not message Gago because her lair is warded. However, if you hold the orb and cast your sending spell, it works.
I see.
The orb is the key through her wards.
Okay.
So that you can contact her if you need to.
So we kind of do both.
Right.
Okay. So it is private.
Yeah, it's a sending spell. The orb simply allows the sending spell to work through her wards.
Crap, because I think it's in the actual pocket dimension of our stuff.
It is.
In the portable hole? Yeah.
It's in the portable hole.
No, actually, I believe that you kept the orb out. If I
Well,
remember
I think I
correctly.
have it in my inventory, but
Yeah.
That means it's out.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Orb. So whenever we're done and whenever she's ready and we're in a private place, I'll hand her the orb. Like when she motions me. I need to put a stupid sticky note on the things that are dragon related. I need to put my notes better. I have
You're
great
doing
notes.
fine.
I have great notes. They're just a effing mess. They're
You're
coming
doing
apart.
fine.
Phew. Okay.
All right. You make it through the lunch rush.
Oh, good.
Shortly after 1 o'clock, things die down noticeably.
Okay. So I sit down and underneath the table I ask for the orb.
You tap me for the orb.
Yeah, I'm like, do you have the item? Do you have the thing?
Hey, man,
Yo,
you got the
man.
stuff.
You got this. You got
You got this.
You
You
got-
got the stuff.
You got to do hickey, man.
You got the you got the stuff, man.
Spice? Do you spice? You spice, right? You spice?
No spice.
Um,
No spicing.
um,
No bath salts. No.
well, I'm probably not going to pull it out right here.
Under the table.
How big is it? It's
It's
big, right?
No, it's something you can hold in your hand. It's a
Oh.
it's a gemstone. It's a perfectly round gemstone.
I thought it was like a big orb,
Oh,
like a
no.
crystal ball
No,
kind
no,
of
no,
thing.
no.
Oh, then if that, then
It's a marble.
Yeah, no, she's bigger than a marble. But yeah, no, I will
Big
definitely
marble.
just hand it to her under the table.
All right. So I
That's
hold
why I
on
was
to it.
like, that's why I was like super confused. I'm like, hey, let me just pull out this bowling ball and hand it to you under the fucking table. I was like very confused.
Will someone count her off for the spell
Yes.
for 25
please.
words?
Yes. Okay.
Geigo, we need to talk to you. We need dragon assistance.
To rescue slaves.
To liberate slaves. That's it.
That's 15.
There's a pause. And then you hear I'd be happy to speak with you. Let me know the next time you're in Thunder's Edge.
Well, we gotta go to Thunder's Edge, y'all.
Can head there shortly. Just want to deliver that, not take it with us to Thunder's Edge.
Yes.
Right.
And I have to make a stop.
Okay. Oh, and we've gotta deliver the present.
Yes.
That's what Aribell was saying.
Okay, sorry.
Do we all need to go to deliver the present? Is that something you want us to all go do?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Ambassador duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you and I should probably go, simply because we have not yet presented ourselves to Lord Bonethane after coming to town.
Good point.
Something both of us should probably do.
So on the way there, we'll stop and do what you need, Gwen.
Mine is back closer to the house.
Lord's
okay.
ward will be on the way to the merchant ward.
Okay. Off to Bone Things.
Off the bone things.
Viessa, Jojo, it was good to see you. We have things that are going
Aye,
need to be taken care of.
you always do. So, don't stand on ceremony and don't let this old man hold you back. Go do what you need to do.
And get some help for Julia for the dinner rush.
Right. Viessa said she's got somebody coming in.
Very good. Boy. Oh, go ahead.
That was it. Thank you, VS.
Thank you for helping with the lunch rush. Although he didn't say anything, I'm certain that Jojo appreciates it. I know Julia did. Oh, I definitely appreciate it. I'm sorry. Nodded off there for a minute.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, we take leave to get all the things done in preparation for the Dragon Festival.
And that is a perfect place to stop for the evening.
Oh, excellent.
So we will pick this back up next time with you headed for Bonethane's Manor, and then off for Gwen's errand, and then maybe off to Thunder's Edge. We'll see.
I'll take back the orb.
All right. So thank you all for watching. We absolutely appreciate your time and your attention. Remember, stay safe, stay sane. Do whatever you need to do to keep you and yours and everyone around you safe, so that you'll be here next time, and so we can welcome you back next time to the lands of Aecathan. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.